In this video, we're going to look at the difference between a shallow copy and a deep copy. So here I've written a a dentist class that implements the Cloneable Interface. And as we saw in the chapter in the textbook for this week, implementing Cloneable means that the class needs to define a method for the clone, or needs to define a body for the clone method. So here we just call super.clone. And this uses the clone method that's defined in the object class, which is the root of the Java inheritance hierarchy. And by default, this performs a shallow clone, and we're going to look at what that means exactly. So our dentist class has three fields. It has a name field, a years of experience field, and an array list of patients, just the names of the patients. And then it has some methods that allow us to change the name of the dentist object, increase the years of experience by one at a time, and add a new patient. So if we go over here and we look at our driver program, we see that I create one dentist called Dr. Bite who has 4 years of experience. And then Dr. Bite has 2 patients, Harry and Dudley. Then we clone dentist 1 to create a new dentist, dentist 2. And we print those 2 out. So let me just run this real quick. We see that when we print these out, we get 2 copies of Dr. Bite, who has 4 years of experience with 2 patients, Harry and Dudley, which is what we would expect. Then we go back over here and we see, okay, we're going to change the name of the second dentist from Dr. Bite to Dr. Chomper, and we're going to increase that dentist's years of experience by 1. So instead of 4, it should be 5 now. And then we print these 2 values out again. And when we look, we see that this works out great, right? The first dentist is called Dr. Bite and has 4 years of experience. And the second dentist is called Dr. Chomper now, and he has 5 years of experience. The problem comes in when we try to add a patient to dentist 2. So we add the patient Petunia to dentist 2, and then we again print out both dentists. But here we see the problem with the shallow copy. Both dentists now, Dr. Bite and Dr. Chomper, have Petunia as a patient, even though I only added the patient to dentist 2, not to both of them. And this is because of the shallow copy. I have some slides that will kind of hopefully get at this idea. Sorry about that. So here we see the dentist class for primitive fields such as the years of experience, and in this case the string name, which is technically an object, but it's kind of a borderline case. The value of the variables can be thought of as being right where the variable is defined. So there's a string name that's a place in memory that's labeled with the variable name, and it contains Dr. Bite. There's another place in memory that the computer is labeling years experience, and it has the value of 4 right in it. For object fields rather than primitive fields, instead of the value being right there in memory, there's a pointer to the actual location in memory where the values are stored. So for the array list of strings, that's the patient field, we don't have the strings right here in memory. Instead, we have a pointer to the list of them in memory. So the problem is that when we do a shallow copy for primitive fields, we make a new place in memory with the same value. But for the object fields, we just copy what's in memory to the same place over here. But what's in memory is not the actual strings, it's a pointer to where those strings are in memory. So what we end up with is 2 fields in different objects pointing to the same array list in memory. So the problem is when we change the primitive fields, it works fine, but when we add a new patient to the object field array list, it follows the pointer here and adds the new patient here. So that new patient is effectively added for both objects, and this is bad. What we want to happen is we want a separate array list created and the contents copied over. And if we do this, then when we add a new patient to one dentist, it won't be added to another. So in the second video for this week, I'll explain to you the code that we can write that will achieve this.